Hello everybody. Today we will be reviewing Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. So I kind of changed the format for this one a little bit because I got some feedback from some people that were saying my reviews were too long. They were more like an analysis. And I'm going to do a rating system for movies. At the end of this, I'll do like a 4 to 5 stars or something like that to kind of give a more of a rating, and maybe just like a me telling more of whether I liked the movie or disliked the movie. So let's get into more of the analysis or synopsis of the movie, I guess, is what somebody told me this kind of is. I changed, but I did change the format a little bit, as opposed to going from scene to scene. I just went back to, if anybody has viewed the Star Wars movies, just like more like key points of the movie rather than a scene by scene. So it's a little less in depth, so maybe the video will be a little bit shorter, because I guess my videos were a little bit too long, but now I've probably rambled on, so this one might end up being as long. So anyhow, let's get into it. So this movie starts out at the Ridgemont Federal Sanitarium. Oh my god. Say that 5 times fast. This ambulance pulls up for the pickup and transfer of a patient to Smith Grove. Obviously we know it's Michael Myers because the title kind of gives it away. So we get a kind of like a kill count, I guess. It's kind of like a infamous thing with these movies where we get some sort of kill count eventually of the murderer, I guess. So he murdered 16 people in the second movie. I didn't know that unless they mentioned it in the second movie as well. But anyway, so they go to the doctor. This nurse checks for his heartbeat. There's nothing there. Then when we go out to the ambulance, we find out that Michael has a niece in his hometown. He doesn't have like a next of kin that's old enough to take care of him, so Michael is owned by the state. Michael wakes up in an ambulance during his transport. It shows him killing one of the nurses inside of the ambulance. So then the next shot is Jamie and Rachel. They're foster sisters. Jamie sees the ambulance outside of the house, opens the... Then she goes upstairs and opens a box and finds a picture of Laurie Strode from the first and second movie. So you know there's some sort of kind of connection there. I guess we know the connection. Obviously, Laurie was her mother, and these people have taken Jamie in to foster her. So Rachel's parents have taken Jamie in to foster her. And then all of a sudden it shows Michael in the room with Jamie when the lightning strikes. Jamie's closet door starts to open and close as she continues to check it. Then all of a sudden Michael grabs Jamie from underneath the bed. Jamie opens her door. Michael is standing there. Rachel runs to help her. And then you find out that Jamie was just dreaming. So you can already sense there's some sort of connection between Jamie and Michael. So then it finally tells us that where we are in Haddonfield, Illinois. It's October 31st, 1988. So 10 years after the original event. It is Halloween Day. So then we find out that Dr. Loomis is still alive. So if you've ever seen the second movie, you know that he basically blows up Michael at the end. So there's no real plausible way that anybody could survive that, even Michael. But because it's a movie and Michael is the main character, I guess it makes sense that he survived, and somehow Dr. Loomis made it alive to continue the story. Sorry for the vacuuming upstairs. It's the other people are vacuuming. So Dr. Loomis is alive. He's talking to Dr. Hoffman, the doctor from the first scene. I didn't catch his name early enough, so he talks about, goes Dr. Hoffman, he goes Dr. Hoffman about Michael's release, telling him it was a stupid idea. Why would he release him? Dr. Hoffman basically says that Dr. Loomis is nuts. Then the phone rings and they find out that Michael has escaped. So they go to the scene of the crash. The ambulance is flipped, covered in blood. They only found 2 bodies. So now Dr. Loomis knows that Michael is missing. Dr. Loomis tells cops on scene and Dr. Hoffman that he's going back to Haddonfield. He has an encounter with Michael when he goes to get gas at Penny's gas station. The owners have been killed. He then pleads with Michael to take his life and spare everyone else. Then we go to the school where Jamie is, and the kids are teasing Jamie about her uncle being the boogeyman. So if you remember from the first 2 movies, that was what they referred to Michael as, was the boogeyman. One of the kids in the movie referred to Michael as the boogeyman. Then I guess I'm still kind of doing the scene by scene thing, but anyway. Next is the tow truck outside of Vincent Drugstore, which is the truck that Michael was in when Dr. Loomis has an encounter with him, and Michael drives away in a tow truck. Michael's mask is in the store when Jamie is looking for her Halloween costume because she finally decides that she wants to go trick-or-treating. Jamie finds a costume similar to the one Michael wore as a child in the first movie when he killed his parents, kind of like a clown sort of outfit, I guess. So she sees a reflection of Michael as a child in the mirror, and then Michael appears behind her. The real Michael, the adult Michael, appears behind her in the mirror. She screams. Rachel comes running, thinking that Jamie's just having like another hallucination or bad dream sort of thing, sort of situation. But she's not. Michael's actually there now. So Dr. Loomis, it goes back to Dr. Loomis. He's hitching a ride to Haddonfield with a priest. That's probably one of the funniest scenes in the movie. Then we go to Michael being outside the house of Jamie, the house that Jamie and Rachel are in, because Rachel is babysitting Jamie because they couldn't. Rachel's parents couldn't get a babysitter in time. Their normal babysitter had to cancel due to an injury. So then they leave the house to go trick-or-treating. Michael goes in, looks through the photos. Dr. Loomis then arrives at the sheriff's office, but the old sheriff has retired. So he warns the new sheriff of Michael Myers' escape from Ridgemont and his plot to kill Jamie, Michael's plot to kill Jamie. Michael is now following Jamie and Rachel around. Jamie and Rachel get separated due to an argument she has with the guy she was supposed to be with, whose name is Brady. But he ends up getting mad at her earlier in the day at the drugstore because she has to babysit Jamie, so he ends up going to this other girl's house. Then Dr. Loomis finds a box of pictures in Jamie's house, or in Jamie and Rachel's house. Michael then kills the power to Haddonfield by throwing a human being into the electrical power plant. Yeah, I guess that would power the whole city of Haddonfield, or town of Haddonfield. So Rachel then begins to search for Jamie because they are separated. Rachel sees Michael. She already knows the danger, so she runs, is able to find Jamie. Dr. Loomis and the sheriff are able to find Rachel and Jamie. Then all of a sudden, several people dressed as Michael surround the car. It's just a bunch of kids goofing around. They go back to the police station. It's destroyed. Everyone is dead. Earl and his hunting party show up earlier. They were watching something in the bar that I guess tipped them off to Michael returning, so now they're out hunting for him. Turns out that he's in the cop car with the deputy, because the deputy stayed behind just in case Michael returned. So he's in the back of the car with the deputy. So the deputy basically brings Michael right to them. So you can thank the deputy for the ending scene of the movie. So Dr. Loomis and the sheriff call for backup. Michael is now in the house. They end up making contact with the state police. Then the deputy is found dead. Michael is sitting in the chair. So basically the girl that Brady was with brings out drinks for everybody. She finds the deputy dead. Michael's sitting in the chair. He gets up. I've never seen this before in a movie, but instead of just shooting her, he just takes the shotgun and impales her into the door. So that's probably one of the more iconic kills in the in the Halloween series, as far as I'm concerned, because it was just one of the more brutal ones, I guess. So Rachel's in the basement. She finally gets word from the state police, goes to tell the deputy, obviously finds the girl that Brady was with and the deputy dead. She goes to get Jamie because now she knows what's happening, but Jamie's missing. They are able to find one another again. Michael then kills Brady as he tries to protect Jamie and Rachel with the gun. He wasn't able to reload it in time to shoot Michael, I guess. So then Michael chases Jamie and Rachel through the house. He's able to find his knife, his iconic knife. He then chases them onto the roof of the house. Rachel falls off the roof. After trying to lower Jamie, and Michael's trying to go after Rachel to kill her, Jamie's running around screaming for help. Dr. Loomis then finds Jamie. They go to the schoolhouse. Turns out Michael's already there, of course. So he grabs Dr. Loomis and throws him through a door. Jamie runs away. Michael catches Jamie, but Rachel makes it to the schoolhouse in the nick of time to save her. Earl and the hunting party show up again at the school. They all leave Haddonfield, let the state police handle Michael. And then all of a sudden, when they're driving away, Michael crawls up the back of the truck, kills everyone except Jamie and Rachel. Rachel tries to throw Michael from the truck. She hits the brakes, he lands on the road. Of course he gets back up. Rachel hits him again. He goes through a fence, lands on the ground, looks like he's dead. So Jamie then goes over to him when he comes to again, obviously. Perfect timing. The sheriff and the hunting party the part of the hunting party that was with him, just pepper him with shots. Michael falls into his grave. They go back to the house. Michael's dead, according to Dr. Loomis. It goes to this first-person view. Somebody pulls a mask over their face. Jamie's mother is in the bathroom. She screams. Dr. Loomis runs up the stairs, sees Jamie covered in blood. A look of horror goes over his face. He goes to pull out his gun to shoot Jamie. The sheriff stops him. So Jamie has killed her mother at the end of this movie, and then the credits roll. So this movie had a couple points that I would like to make. The mask seemed... I know the mask is iconic, but I think I liked the mask design better in the first and second movie than this one. I think the mask in this one didn't make Michael nearly as scary. It kind of seemed more pale than in the other two movies. This movie still stands out as far as the kills go, I guess, because they were far more brutal. But it seems like in a couple of the scenes when Jamie and Rachel were trying to get away, they could have easily gotten away, but they stood there and waited. That was one of the points. It seems like from the first and second movie, at least when they were trying to get away, they were hurt already, but there was no real, like, physical damage done to the characters in some of the scenes. Or not, it didn't seem like they were as hurt compared to the first and second movies. So, it seems like they could have gotten away a lot easier with some of it. Or could have gotten away from Michael easier than they did. They struggled with it a lot more than I think they should have. But anyway, I guess that's just for the movie. But I still like this movie. It stands out on its own, I guess, because it's kind of like bringing a whole new story to it, which is interesting. And I guess if they didn't try to go a different direction in the third movie, we wouldn't have this movie, and we wouldn't have the iconic Michael character, like I've said before. So I think that's about it. The mask and just some of the scenes where I feel like they could have gotten away a lot easier than they did. So I guess I would give this movie a 7 out of 10. So the first two I would give a 10 out of 10. They were excellent. Really enjoyed those movies. The third movie I would give it was kind of different, I guess, but I kind of am appreciating the third movie a little bit more every time I watch it, so I guess I would give it a 5 for now. So I guess I'll just I know this is kind of late to rate the other movies, but I guess I'll do it in this video. So those are my ratings for the first 4 movies. So going forward, I will just keep doing some sort of rating system. So like a star system, or maybe once I get better editing software, I can kind of put like something in the bottom of the screen as a rating system. Or maybe just even in the title, just to let you guys know what I rate the movie, and then just kind of do the review. Just leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.